Welcome back to this video. I will show you the best budget decks that you can take for the new under 5 event right here. We will first take a look at the loner decks, and then I will show you a budget deck that I think you can quickly make and be very successful with it. If you want to know the best decks that you can take to this event to be most effective to dominate all your duels, then I have already made a video. It's in the top right corner. It's also the latest video on the channel. But without further ado, let us take a look at the loner decks. And in recent times, the loner decks definitely were quite nice. As we can see right here, we have a combination of a Sushi deck together with the Sharks. I've talked about the Sharks in the video concerning the top 3 decks. And once again, we see a kind of familiar pattern right here, which I always think is kind of meh with the loner decks. They have become way better, but we have triple Ash Blossom and triple Infinite Permanence. This is unfortunately our only non-engine in this deck. What I think is very nice here that we have decided to play a very effective Shark package with the Surfacing Big Jaws and the Drake Shark. This is definitely a small Shark package if there ever was one that is quite effective. We also have 7 Ascension triple and 7 Tachyon triple, which is super nice to get access to these cards. And then we have all the Su ships ready, which is definitely an archetype that can be quite successful here. We have cards like the Virtue Stream that we can set on our end board, or for example the Full Armored XYZ. We have our Virtue Dragon that can, for example, search it. So a lot of stuff that we can in theory set up on the end board. The most important extra deck cards are in here, so nothing really important is missing. Overall, I think this is a very well-rounded deck. We also have the Painful Decision, which was a funny card, and I think I was playing this in Rika. If anyone else is remembering this card, give me a comment. This was quite fun playing this in the beginning when the deck was more relevant. But yeah, I think that this Sushi slash Shark deck is definitely not bad. I would have wished for more non-engine, but this is always my critic point when it comes to these loner decks. We have Verdant Synchrony, which is, and this you can also play at a more full power point with more non-engine and less bad cards. A combination of Veronosive together with the Naturia cards. Very nice here. Unfortunately, once again, our engine is very, very big. We have the most important cards in here, which is good. We have the Mole Cricket, we have the Sunflower as our negate. We also have a Rose Whip. Do we also have, so this is Spell Trap negate, this is the Monster negate. Do we also have this? There's also a Floodgate one, if I remember this correctly, but this one does not seem to be in here. We are playing triple 3, that's nice. This gives us access to our Naturia cards. 1 for 1, which is also very good right here, and something like the Burial Goods. We have the Natural Blessing on 3, and then we have a lot of these Earth monsters that can discard other monsters in order to be special summoned, and I also think they can search or can summon from the graveyard, so they produce a lot of bodies, which is nice. They are basic level 4 and 3 bodies mainly. Is there also a tuner? No, there are no tuners, but obviously we have the tuners here from the Naturia engine. I'm not sure whether, okay, I was searching for the Camellia, but Camellia is also here. This is obviously very important, one of our main tuners right here that we can establish. And then we have a lot of monsters within the extra deck that we can use right here. One of the most important ones being the Naturia Beast, which is a spell card negate. This can definitely shut down the entire game for the opponent. You will basically be able to negate all the spell cards, and with no spell cards it will be very tough to beat this guy. No base body, level 4 base body that you can normal summon will beat the Naturia Beast. We have TG Hyper Librarian, which is an insane card that can make us draw a lot of cards, gaining a lot of advantage points. We have Herald of the Arclight, which is also a Floodgate as well as an Omni negate. So all in all, I think there are very nice cards in here. We also have bad cards like Ally of Justice, Castastor, which is a good card in Edison, but not really here. But the stuff that we have here in the Synchro extra deck is actually very nice, and I think this deck is more powerful than the Sushi Shark deck we have taken a look at. Once again, we are missing the non-engine or more non-engine, but this is nothing that should surprise us at this point. And then we have the Reactor deck, which this is a support that has been added in the, I think, last selection pack, and now we can play it right here. I have to say I'm not super familiar with the Reactor deck. I know that this new boss monster, Reactor Exagard, is pretty insane. Other than that, I'm a bit blanking on how effective this deck is. I have to admit, we have a Sangen Kaiman. We can add a Fire Dragon monster. Are these Fire Dragon monsters? Okay, Reactor Zeptwing, very interesting here. For non-engine, we are playing Ash Blossoms and Ghost Ogres, which I don't really like. I would have loved the Infinite Impermanences more, I have to say. A lot of level 3 extenders that we can obviously use to go into, for example, also our Reactor Exagard, which this is the important one I know, and for example also the trap, the counter trap. Definitely not a bad deck, but if you want want to choose one of these loner decks for consistency or having the most success, I would definitely go for the Synchro one. This is, in my opinion, the strongest one, but I think the deck that I will show you right now might even be way better than these loner decks. And for the budget deck, I have a budget variant here of the full power stun version that I have shown you in the best 3 decks. Shout outs here to Shape of Snatches, which has basically created, or who has basically created this deck, a very, very nice one. We play kind of like the same card. The main core card, which everything revolves around, is the Pacifist. And I think the effective thing about this deck, not only being a stun deck, is also the fact that a lot of people will just scoop the game if they see you playing this. We are once again playing Mystery Shell Dragon. We are playing a Planet Pathfinder that you can use to get to your Pacifist, just getting more consistency down. We are playing the pots like in the more expensive version. Then we are playing triple Pacifist, triple Demise of the Land to get to the Pacifist. Once again, we are playing the Primate War, which is also a nice interruption in the graveyard. We are playing triple Torrential Tribute, 2 compulsory evacuation device. Basically any useful trap could do. If you want to switch out anything for something else here, we have 1 Trap Tricks, Trap Hole Nightmare, 1 or 2 Paleozoic Dino Mishus. Then we have the Phantasm Spiral Battle and the Phantasm Spiral Power. You could bump this up by 1 if you wanted to. Then we have Trap Trick ×3, which is where you want to basically play multiples of every trap. So if you play the Draco Utopian Aura, which you can get for free from a structure deck, then you should maybe play this at 2, but this is also not necessary. This is a nice Solemn Judgment card, but it's once again not super necessary. We play the Sword Soul Blackout that you can use via the Mystery Shell Dragon, being a worm that is nice. Fist of the Unrivaled Tenny is also activatable by the Mystery Shell Dragon. Then once again, we are playing Draco Utopian Aura from the structure deck. I think it's from the XYZ structure deck, Origin of the Galaxy, or at least from one of the XYZ structure decks that we have. There was another one being added, and then I've talked about this in the other version. We have the Stygian Dirge, which reduces the level of all monsters by your opponent, controls by 1 forever, continuous trap, and is obviously very relevant for the extra deck. For the extra deck, we just have a lot of like rank 4 stuff in here that you will most likely never really make, but there's just some different stuff in here that you could make, like for example the Gem Knight Pearl for more attack points, Evil Swarm Nightmare, the Diamond Direwolf, the old number 106 Giant Hand, number 103 Ragnar Zero, which can destroy a card, and then you draw the Arcan Gorgon Artiluminescence Knight. Then we have number 52 Diamond Crab. We have Gagaga Samurai. We have our Dugaris that you can use to draw or maybe attack once again full armored Utopic Ray Lancer, as well as Drill Driver Vispinato for the stun event cheap deck. And I think you will be way more successful with this deck than with the loner decks, but this is obviously your pick, and I hope you enjoy the event. Anyway, check out the video with the best decks as my suggestion for this event, and I wish you a great time in the event. Have success, have fun, and we will see each other in the next one.